Sorry to have to be here today. You know, when I saw the headline on my computer yesterday, it said, "Abortion doctor killed in Kansas," I knew immediately, and my heart sank. You shouldn't have to be a hero. You shouldn't have to be a saint or possessed of superhuman courage to be a doctor. But he was, and for that, we honor Dr. Tiller today. Dr. Tiller gave his life to save lives. And he didn't just save the lives of women in other states. You know, we like to think that here in New York, we're a safe haven where women who need abortions can get them, but that's not true. Because in some cases, there have been women in New York, like the 11-year-old child who couldn't get a physician in any hospital in New York to give her an abortion because it was too late in pregnancy after she had been raped. And she had to go to Dr. Tiller in Kansas. Dr. Tiller was the safety net for New York as well. And this isn't a political rally, but I think we have to commit ourselves to make sure that in Dr. Tiller's memory, we change our laws so that every woman in New York can get an abortion here in New York whenever she needs it. And as we think about Dr. Tiller and this horrible, horrible act that killed him, let's also celebrate his life, and let's think of some of the other doctors who have sacrificed so much and risked so much to provide women the care that we need. Let's think about Bill Rashbaum, who died a few years ago, whose family would call me regularly every time Bill felt a desperate need to speak out and defend his right to provide medical care for women, and he went public. His family would call me and ask me, "Do you think that he's going to get killed for being public about this?" And let's think of Dr. Barnett Slepian, who was murdered in his home outside of Buffalo just a little over a decade ago. And let's think about the doctors, the nurses, the clinic staff who risk their lives every day to provide the services that women need in order to control their reproductive life and health. And let's think about the medical students and the nursing students and the PA students and the nurse practitioners who are now preparing for careers to protect the health and lives of women, whatever the risks. At the New York Civil Liberties Union, we were honored to know one of those providers because her daughter, Jessica Fireman, worked with us for a number of years. And of course, I immediately wrote to Jess when I heard about Dr. Tiller. She wrote back to me with an email from her brother about their mom, Liz Carlin. Liz Carlin was one of those docs who was told to wear a bulletproof vest because she was on the Dirty Dozen list, the list of doctors, the hit list for those so-called pro-life people who like the unborn but not the living. She was on the list, and she was told to go around with a bulletproof vest, which she used to schlep with her in a suitcase. So let's applaud Dr. Tiller for his courage year after year, when he could have been forgiven for packing it in and saying that he'd paid his dues. But instead, he performed the most controversial procedure in medicine year after year, year after year, until they finally killed him for it. George Tiller.